In James Gunn's quest to bring back iconic Superman elements like the red trunks, will he include this important element that Zack Snyder left out? Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn's Superman has been all the rage this week after DC Studios released the first teaser trailer for the upcoming film. The film would begin the first chapter of Gunn's newly launched DCU, which recently had a soft launch with the Max series Creature Commandos. The film is set to release on July 11th, 2025. From the color tone to the costume of Superman, Gunn's film is already proven to be miles away from Zack Snyder's Man of Steel with Henry Cavill. Gunn mentioned in an interview that he felt good about exploring Superman's kindness, as opposed to Snyder's exploration of power. He might also use one quality of Kal-El that Snyder deliberately left out. While Henry Cavill is now regarded as one of the best actors to portray Superman, and fans were extremely sad to see him leave the role after James Gunn decided to revamp the DCU, his Superman debut Man of Steel was divisive upon release. Director Zack Snyder's vision to go with a dark and gritty iteration was criticized by many in 2013. Snyder's iteration of America's first superhero changed and left out some classic aspects of Superman's mythology. Among many things, this also included the red trunks that he wears over his costume and the lack of ice breath. The superpower is an irreplaceable element of Superman's mythos, but it was only used once in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder credits YouTube/Empire magazine. While Snyder said that producer and co-writer Christopher Nolan moved them in a grittier direction, he claimed that the decision to exclude the ice breath was his decision, via Empire. I did that a little bit. Look, I don't know that he does not have ice breath. He just doesn't use it. For instance, in this, people were like, oh, there is no kryptonite. That doesn't mean kryptonite does not exist. It just didn't show up here. Kryptonite did come back in a huge way in Snyder's 2016 follow-up Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. However, Henry Cavill's Superman is still in his early stages during the events of Man of Steel and still might not know the extent of his powers. Hence, the use of ice breath after his resurrection in ZSJL makes more sense. So, Zack Snyder's Superman was not perfect. It definitely had potential, and his 5-movie plan was interesting, to say the least, but it is over now, and so are all the other issues people had with his take on Kal-El. Now, all the burden, criticisms, and appreciation lies on James Gunn to make a different Superman. From its teaser trailer, Gunn has established that it will not be as dark and gritty as Zack Snyder's version and will take a more hopeful tone. In a press review, the filmmaker and co-chief of DC Studios also mentioned why he felt good morally about the upcoming film. He also promised that they would be using all of the heroes' mythology via Variety. Superhero movies have taken these characters and said, okay, it's Batman or it's Superman, but it's not any of the other stuff. We're embracing all of the Superman mythology. He has a lot of the things that we love from the Superman comics that we haven't been able to see as much of in film media, and definitely haven't been able to see in a grounded way, which is what I hope we've created. Part of staying true to his mythology includes some of his powers like ice breath that may sound silly in theory, especially while depicting in a film. Gunn has promised to make these elements as grounded as possible without them being silly. He even had a justification for why he chose to bring back the red trunks. Superman teaser trailer is out, and DC fans are loving James Gunn's version of Man of Steel. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. James Gunn's Superman has dropped its first teaser trailer, and it has received a positive response from the world over. Gunn's film is undoubtedly one of the most anticipated films of 2025. From the teaser, it appears that Gunn has checked every box to make DC fandom happy. David Cornsweet will play this iteration of Superman. Rachel Brosnahan plays Lois Lane, while Nicholas Hoult appears as the classic Superman villain Lex Luthor. Other confirmed cast members of the film include Skylar Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Maria Gabriela De Faria as the engineer, Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, Terrence Rosemore as Otis, Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho, and Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl. Even before the teaser trailer, James Gunn gave us hints that comics would play a huge part in his Superman film. More recent superhero film directors have received the wrath of the audience for steering away from the source material for the sake of originality. However, Gunn plans to reel in the comic book fandom by giving them what they exactly want. Fans saw a Man of Steel who is more relatable and spreads optimism around. Particularly, one scene in the trailer where David Corenswet's character swoops in to save a girl from crashing debris is something classic Superman does. Superman stands as hope for the people as the chant Superman gets louder and louder during the run of the teaser. It is further highlighted in the teaser when a young boy raises a flag with the S symbol and whispers Superman's name during a time of crisis. Gunn himself mentioned the inspiration from comic books during an interview. He shared with comicbook.com, "There's a lot of stuff from the comic books above and beyond anything else, All-Star Superman, that influenced me more than anything. The comic-accurate costumes, the settings, and even the plethora of characters and Easter eggs that flash through the scenes look all promising. We even have Krypto the Superdog in the movie." The first thing that hits us right from the moment Superman crash lands at the beginning of the trailer is the bright colors of the teaser. James Gunn nailed the character and the world's tone with these colors. The colorful filter also helps bring hope and optimism into the film. The color choice also gives the character a classic look, which many fans point out to be a prime attraction in this trailer. Adding to the color tone, fans didn't know they needed to hear a twist on John Williams' iconic Superman theme from the 70s to get in the spirit. The moody theme perfectly balances out the cheery colors, giving fans a satisfactory experience from the teaser. This Superman is also going to be kissy-kissy, as we see a couple of smooches between David Corenswet's Clark Kent and Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane. It appears that Superman doesn't need to hide his identity from Lois. Given the manner in which things ended at DCU, James Gunn's Superman is expected to face obvious comparisons with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. However, many felt that Gunn understands Superman better than Snyder. The Guardians of the Galaxy director understands that the DC superhero needs to be relatable and not a dark, gritty portrayal. In an attempt to modernize Superman, Snyder gave a more serious approach to Henry Cavill's Superman. While it appealed to a certain section of fans, Cavill's version wasn't the superhero that kids grew up with. The blue hue color tone of the movie itself gave off a sense of darkness. Fans also complained that Cavill's Superman couldn't spread the hope and optimism that the character stood for. Another hot take is that Snyder's movie, while visually unique, wasn't ideal for franchise building due to its more self-contained themes. However, Gunn's vision for the Superman universe feels expansive, even reminding us of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man as a foundation for a broader franchise. It has already been mentioned that the teaser carries a